Gamers Reviews.
Hello and welcome to Gamers Reviews with me, Rident. Today I'm going to be sharing my opinion on Dragon's Crown, which releases across Europe on the 11th of October for both PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. Dragon's Crown is developed by Japanese developer Vanillaware and is being published by NIS America in Europe. So yeah, let's get cracking with the details. Dragon's Crown is a side-scrolling beat-em-up dungeon crawler, fused with some core RPG elements and set in the fantasy realm of Heideland. Players have the choice of 6 fantasy classes, each with their own skills and strategies, and can team up with up to 3 players online or offline, or with up to 3 AI characters. Due to the different strengths and strategies of each class, it's advised to have a well-balanced party, much like with classic RPG titles. While partying with AI can be fun, it's by far a better experience online with friends. Online play does offer an easy drop-in and drop-out cooperative play, so even if you have no friends online, you can jump in with someone else. The game can be played with either English or Japanese audio, so for those who enjoy playing the games in the native tongue, can do so. I, however, did prefer to play the game with the English audio, as I feel the English narration actually seems to fit the medieval themes of the game much better than the Japanese audio does. The game is also narrated to you in a third-person perspective, which is much like reading a book, which I did find really drew me into the story, especially with the dark humour that's thrown in there too. There are 3 common areas accessing the game: the town, the world map, and the dungeons. In the town you'll find the shops to buy and appraise items, the inn to choose party allies and to save your game, the temple to resurrect the dead found on your travels, which we'll go into in just a bit, the Adventurers Guild, which is where you'll receive your guild quests and also purchase class-based skills with the skill points earned from leveling up. The world map is where you're able to scroll through and select any available dungeons. The further into the story you progress, the more dungeon areas you'll be able to gain access to, which will stagger by the recommended character level. The world map is accessed via the gate in the town, as well as via the stables once they're unlocked later into the game. The stables provide a safe access to the dungeons at the cost of a little bit of gold. The dungeons are where the real fun begins. As mentioned, this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up of sorts, and you'll normally progress from left to right throughout the dungeons, fighting waves of enemies along the way. Hidden throughout are many treasures which can be found by moving a hand pointer using the right analog stick around the background. Travelling with you is a thief called Rani, who will open up any locked doors or treasure chests you encounter by just directing him using the finger pointer and clicking the L1 button. Upon unlocking the treasure chest, you'll be given a treasure rank, which varies depending on what spores are found within. Fighting is a pretty simple affair and may be seen as quite repetitive at first until you progress a little bit further in level and learn a few new skills. The various enemies throughout the game will possess different strengths and weaknesses, such as elemental and weapon type, which is why having a varied party is key to progression in the game. Each dungeon finishes with an intense boss fight, which gets tougher the further you progress into the game, and these bosses will throw everything they got at you, so it's a good idea to know your character's strengths, skills, and strategize your attacks. After completing a dungeon, you're taken to a results screen to collect your rewards. Items collected from the chest can either be appraised at this point and to put them to use, at the cost of a little gold, sold off, or kept to be appraised at a later date in town. Following this, you are then transported back to the town to complete and continue any quests, to stock up on any goods, and prepare for the next dungeon. As mentioned previously, there's a temple in the town to resurrect the dead, which are found as bones when exploring the dungeons, and these will then become your AI-controlled allies, which you can add as party members at the inn. You can also receive temporary buffs through prayers given at the temple in exchange for a little gold. Dragon's Crown offers a very engrossing story, along with many additional side quests, which ensure there's plenty of content to keep players occupied for a long time. Mix that with the variety of different playable classes to master, and you can see there's a lot on offer in this budget title. Rewards for completing side quests may not all be too inspiring for some, as they're only little art pieces. However, for those who do appreciate the gorgeous art and style of the game, will definitely enjoy some of the unlockable images that are available. Speaking of the visual style, the game has been criticised for its hypersexualisation of characters, which affects both the burly men as well as the busty females in the game. There is a very anime style to the characters, which I believe does fit the fantasy setting. The game is not all muscle and boob, as it is balanced by a couple of more petite characters, and don't let this deter you from experiencing the fantastic gameplay that's actually on offer here. So, while there are plenty of huge AAA titles out there right now, this really isn't a game to overlook. There's a wealth of content and an enjoyable cooperative gameplay, which doesn't make it feel like a burden to revisit dungeons and to grind for some additional experience points and treasures. This is definitely a game best played with friends, but this solo game is also great fun. Oh, and the AI doesn't completely suck. So that's it for me for today. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the thumbs up button down below, and please subscribe to the We Are Gamers channel. Until next time, farewell.